With the opportunity to buy full self-driving before February 14th for the last time before it goes subscription only, a lot of owners and a lot of people that are considering to buy a Tesla are really frantically trying to figure out what to do. And I don't blame you. $8,000 is a lot of money. Let me just cover a little bit of history and background on what Tesla has done in the past, and then contemplate a little bit and speculate, it's all going to be speculative, on what may happen in the future. Now, I know I've made several videos about this, but this topic is near and dear to my heart, and if I were a new Tesla owner that did not already have full self-driving, or if I was considering to buy a Tesla, this would be weighing very heavily on me at the moment, because again, $8,000 is a lot of money. So you have to ask yourself, first and foremost, are you going to own your car for a long time? Very important to ask yourself that question. And let's say you're not. If you're leasing your car, how much is that monthly payment? Can you afford that extra payment on top of it? Is it worth getting the subscription at $100 a month, or just buying it flat out right now, considering the fact that you are going to be keeping your car for a very long time? You ultimately have to ask yourself that question, but I will say that it is not promised that the price will remain at $100. Now, of course, it depends on the demand, but Elon and Tesla has been saying for a very long time that the cars will get better and better over time, and as a result of improved technology, I have no doubt in my mind that the price will be going up, and Elon has actually mentioned that. But key point in mind, and this is going back to the history, Elon said that the price of full self-driving would continually climb way back in 2019.
I don't think we're going to need to lower the price of FSD. I expect the price of FSD to increase slowly as the functionality and capability improve. That is unchanged.
It started out as $5,000 when you bought a brand new car. That was all that it cost to get full self-driving. Now, you had to get autopilot at the same time, so it was really like $8,000 back then. But as soon as Elon said that the price would be going up, I panicked and I bought. And because it was after I bought the car, it was actually more than $5,000. It was $6,000. Well, guess what happened? The price did go up, but it didn't go up indefinitely. In fact, it went back down again. So it started at $5,000, it went up to $15,000, then it settled at around $12,000, and then came down to $8,000. And around those time frame, I think maybe when it was $12,000, that's when the subscription first came out. And if I had had that option available when I got my car in 2019, and if full self-driving was actually a thing, I definitely would have gone subscription. So the thing is, how much will you be using it? Now, I know that's a very hard thing to know the answer to, but you have to kind of know your own personality. If you get a kick out of seeing your car do things for you, especially making turns, stopping at stoplights, stop signs, waiting for pedestrians, doing stuff that humans do, and having your car do it automatically. And if that's cool to you and interesting and fun, then I would say definitely it's worth it. It's all about the personal pleasure that you get out of it. That has a lot to do with it. But I would say more than anything, the safety above all else. This would be the safest investment. Think of it as an investment, the safest investment or the safest payment that you will make on a monthly basis. Now, again, I can't answer the question if it's going to be worth it for you to put $8,000 down on the car to get this self-driving package. So it's a really, really tough one, but you have to ask yourself, is it going to be worth it? Whatever you do, don't panic buy under the assumption that it is going to continually rise in price or that you're never going to be able to buy it again, because let me tell you this, Tesla has gone back and forth on many options in the past. They've taken away features, they've added them back. It used to be called Navigate on Autopilot, and then it was called Enhanced Autopilot. So they've changed the names of the packages over time, and then they've added the full self-driving on, and then they had transfer capability where you can move it to another car, but historically it remains with the vehicle that you buy. So that is another factor to take into consideration. Because let's say you get in a crash. Well, hey, there goes $8,000 down the drain, essentially. That's what happens. Now, again, though, Tesla's gone back and forth. So transfer has been a possibility. And they're saying now after March 31st, you won't be able to transfer again. Tesla said this before. They've taken it away. They've brought it back. They've taken it away. So I wouldn't be too concerned because at the end of the day, this is software. Tesla can do anything they want. That is a good thing and a bad thing, though, because then you are held hostage with that subscription price. You never know what's going to happen. Like I said, it could go up or it could go down. It could potentially get lowered, and that's a really good thing, too, because if you think about it, still a lot of people stretch to pay $100 a month. That's not a small amount of money for a lot of Americans and a lot of people in the world. So demand versus supply. If people aren't buying it at $100, I guarantee you Tesla's going to lower the price. Now, the real question is, and this is the biggest question of all, is what happens when it becomes unsupervised? And for those of you who don't know, when you buy full self-driving today, full out for $8,000, you are buying full self-driving supervised. That's what's mentioned when you buy it. And if you look at the terms, it basically says you need to pay attention. You are responsible for anything that full self-driving does. So one might ask themselves, why don't I just drive myself if I'm responsible anyway? Well, that's a really, really good question. And the answer to that is you are a lot safer with full self-driving. Even though you are still technically driving, the car is driving itself and it's doing a darn good job of it. It's proven that it's 80%, I think the statistics said 80% safer than a normal human driver. The statistics are crazy and it's been proven through millions and millions of miles of data. So first and foremost, if you've never tested full self-driving, like let's say you've never been behind the wheel of a Tesla and you've never ever tried full self-driving, how in the world are you going to make a decision to buy it? It's impossible. I mean, you could be like really excited to get it and like maybe you just got a gift, you inherited some money or something and you're like, I don't know, that's still a lot of money. Again, I don't blame you, but you have to try it. Now there's still some time left. You still have about 2 weeks, I'd say, to get out there, find a service center, test drive it. If you really, really like it, then do it. You only live once. And here's the thing. Owning it changes your life. And I can't say that enough. I am obsessed with full self-driving. I know this may sound cringe, but I developed my entire YouTube channel around full self-driving. I get so much pleasure and joy out of using it. It makes me a safer driver. I can actually look around. I can relax more. It makes long road trips a lot easier and I have a lot less fatigue. When I arrive somewhere, and I kid you not, I'll go on a 3-hour road trip and I don't need to stop to use the bathroom because I purposely don't drink a bunch of water or coffee before I leave on a long trip like that. But usually, let's say if I'm going for a 3-hour drive, when I get to my destination, like normally with a gas car, I'd get there and I'd be like, I want to get out of the car. Like right away, I just want to get out and I want to just leave the car. With the Tesla, I get there and it's like, oh, I'm here? And it's literally the moment of like, I don't want to leave my car. I want to stay in here because not only is the seat very comfortable, but I'm not like tired. I'm not itching to get out of my car. So, and that is unbelievable. And it's something only Tesla owners, I'm serious about this, only Tesla owners will understand because it really does not eliminate, but significantly reduce driver fatigue. Let's say you fall asleep at the wheel. Another great use case for using full self-driving. The car will pull itself over. Now, if you get a Hardware 3 car, and this is important too, all cars manufactured before June of 2023 have Hardware 3. And someone recently asked me, can I get in a hardware 3 car, can I buy, let's say used, right? You'd have to get a used car. Can I get a used Model 3 or Model Y or whatever car it is that has hardware 3, and you check it out in the software menu, you can see autopilot computer hardware 3 or whatever. Can you use that car hands-free? I don't have to touch the wheel. Yes, you can. The only limitation with hardware 3 is it can't go in reverse. It doesn't respond to emergency vehicles. It's not as sensitive to small objects in the road. The reaction time is not as fast as hardware 4. So hardware 4, what is hardware 4? Well, it's the latest and greatest computer that started shipping from June 2023. So if you have AI4, you have a car that is potentially going to support unsupervised. So now let's get into unsupervised. We know what supervised is. You're in control. You are responsible. Still a great feature to have, extremely safe, and hands down worth the money, in my humble opinion. But then let's talk about unsupervised. A lot of people are trying to base their decision on the fact that they would get unsupervised if they buy full self-driving for their car. That is not true. Nobody has ever said that buying full self-driving today, before February 14th, is going to guarantee that you're going to get unsupervised. So just to set the record straight, don't make your decision based on that. Now, hardware upgrades, this is one thing that a lot of full self-driving owners have benefited from. For example, when I bought my Model 3 in 2019, it had hardware 2.5. And then shortly thereafter, Elon said that anyone who buys the full self-driving package will get a hardware upgrade for free. So then I brought it into the service center, they swapped out the computer, and now I have hardware 3. And in the future, again, Tesla will be upgrading hardware 3 in the case that it's not safe enough to achieve unsupervised, which basically means that Tesla's going to support these older cars for unsupervised. So of course they're going to support AI4 for unsupervised, but the big question is, will it cost extra money? That is the big question, and nobody can really answer that. But if you think about this here for a second, once unsupervised is possible, you're basically in the back seat, so you're not driving the car. Who takes responsibility when the car gets in a crash? Well, it can't be you in the back seat, obviously, right? Because that's crazy. However, I think Tesla may say, okay, because this is such a great feature, we are going to charge a little bit extra for it. And that will probably help them with crashes and liability and insurance, stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I think that the chances of getting unsupervised without paying a monthly or annual subscription are higher if you own full self-driving on the vehicle. Now, another question I've had is, what happens if you buy a used vehicle? You aren't the original owner, but you bought a car that already has it. Will you benefit in the future for free hardware upgrades? Will you benefit in the future for computer swaps, camera upgrades? So hardware upgrades, and then the other is the software. Will you qualify for unsupervised? Nobody knows, except for hardware 3. Hardware 3 owners, and again, it was clarified that anyone that owns hardware 3, but not that it was the original car. So there's still that gray area of, is it the original car, or do you have to be the original owner of the car? I don't think Tesla's going to draw the line there, because it would be very difficult to track who bought the car. Anyway, I think it's a steal right now if you can find a used car that has full self-driving. I think it's a really great idea, but don't feel like you need to rush out and get one right away. The thing is, demand for these used cars is going to go through the roof when unsupervised becomes possible. I guarantee you that. But how long will that happen? I think it will take a very long time. Not like 10 years, but I think it'll take easily 3 to 5 years before that's possible, just because it's the march of nines. It takes a long time to perfect every edge case. Think about it. They have to take full liability. That's a big stretch. Not only does Tesla need to be taking full liability, but your local legislation and your local regulators, they need to approve it as well. So it has to be allowed in your state for you to be able to do that. Because can you imagine if someone just suddenly hops in the back seat and you get pulled over by a cop? The cop's gonna be like, they're not gonna know how to write the ticket. In my humble opinion, at the end of the day, and people are gonna object to this, but in my humble opinion, it's worth $8,000. But if you can't afford it and you're still on the fence, consider used, but don't feel rushed to do that, because like I said, it's still gonna take some time. And there's millions and millions and millions of cars that have full self-driving already fully purchased on the car. And these owners, a lot of these owners, they want to get a new car. So now, granted, I think once this subscription starts, they're going to be more willing to hold on to their, so it's not going to be, there aren't going to be as many used cars. So definitely have some sense of urgency, but don't feel like, oh, February 14th, I got to rush out to go buy full self-driving, or I have to go get a Tesla right away. Don't feel like you have to be rushed, would be my final answer. And then, is it worth it? Absolutely 100%. I hands down think it's one of the best purchases money can buy.